Hello and welcome back. This is the Crypto Alliance AMA number 2. Today we are welcoming the team from Ghost Trader, and we have Ghost Trader Dawn, Crypto Hats, Dennis, and Fujikara. And we are looking very much forward to learning about this project today and what it has to offer. So with that, I would like to welcome the team.
Yeah, good. Hi, guys. Thanks for having us, firstly. So my name's John, a.k.a., as I'm known by most of the community as Ghost Trader Don, because that was what my Telegram name was when I set the group up. So, yeah, just start from the basics. I'm part co-owner of GTR. Obviously, Dennis is the trader and also the other owner. I had spent a couple of years trying to come up with a plan and an idea of how I could utilize the access that I had to Dennis and the friendship that I built with him, knowing that we could quite possibly build a successful and decent business relationship, offering hedge fund style opportunity to the public. And for those of you that do know, when you're trying to do that sort of thing in the real world, you immediately come up with hurdles, regulation, and red tape. And ultimately, yes, what it would end up with was that we were in a deep hole in our pockets, and we wouldn't have even had a client through the door before we could hit the ground running. And even then, once we did that, we would only be allowed to speak to people that had money in the first place and that could sign on the dotted line saying that they understood the risks of investing, etc., etc., etc. The usual stuff that people are used to seeing. Which was quite frustrating. So I was trying to find what I normally do, which is finding the loopholes and the ways around it to be quite clever. But ultimately, it would end up that, again, we would have to be quite clever. And I could only speak to people in the UK because my main language is English, although I speak a tiny bit of Spanglish. But other than that, we would be extremely limited. And I'd been playing around with some crypto projects at the time, and I was immediately hit with the mass population that was in every project from all over the world, speaking different languages with translate, etc., and the opportunity that was available there. So I said to Dennis, look, I'm gonna explore this idea that I've got, which is on Telegram. I'm going to see if I can find some geeks that can help me put what I've got in my head into a blockchain opportunity. And it didn't take me very long to do, because obviously immediately the people that understood what I was trying to do could see the opportunity that I had in front of me, and we managed to piece it together. So now we're at the point where we can wholeheartedly say that we actually created the first world's tokenized hedge fund, which is traded off chain, and obviously is protected against the elements of the greens and the red candles, and obviously the bull or the bear markets, which is obviously something that's extremely unique as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about of how we started and what we did and how we got going. Dennis can probably elaborate a little bit more.
I got to say real quick, that is a great idea, kind of merging traditional investment with new age crypto investment opportunities out there. It's definitely, certainly something a lot of people have maybe thought about. It's great that you guys were able to execute it, and it has been working.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I couldn't understand why people weren't using the fact that obviously the let's say what it is, obviously lack of deregulation and the decentralization. I couldn't understand why people weren't using it for the greater good rather than for their greater good, which was obviously people ripping people off on a daily basis. I couldn't quite get my head around it, because I thought, well, okay, I get that there may not be so many smart minds out there, and it was quite easy to fork a contract and do whatever. But in terms of actually, and to be honest, what actually made me think about it was there was a project. I won't mention the name, but I really liked it. I got really excited about it, and it was a similar sort of thing. It was actually where the project would collect traders from their community, sort of thing. So it was like a social trading thing.
Okay.
And to be honest, I lost an absolute fortune on it, and it was that got me thinking. Hold on a minute. What I've been thinking all along is obviously a good way to go, and let's have a go at doing this. So that's how the baby was born.
Beautiful. You identified a void in the market, and so that's what it's about. When great minds, think alike and they come together with these kind of innovative ideas, that's how great things happen. So.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
Yeah.
Dennis, do you want to give yourself your little introduction?
Evening, guys.
Hey.
Firstly, thanks for the invite.
Absolutely.
Happy to speak with you guys. John's obviously covered the kind of, the
overview, kind of.
Oh, he's disappeared. He's based in Dubai, so I think his VPN that allows him to speak on social apps has probably kicked him off.
Okay, I'm sure he'll be right back. I'm sure.
Yeah, he'll come back anyway. So,
sorry, guys. Let me start again.
Yeah.
My VPN kindly kicked me off.
No worries. We kind of assume that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, being in the UAE, the UAE government like you to use their telephone systems rather than your own. But anyway, that's another story. So yeah, as John was saying, he and I spoke all during the pandemic, and he was telling me I knew a bit about crypto, the main cryptos. I didn't realise what a messy business it was at the other end of this scale, and he was forever telling me about him being rugged in this and that, and I'm going, what's rugged?
Yeah.
What do you mean? So when he explained the scenario, I was like, why I don't get it. Why do people do that? Why don't they actually put in some proper projects into the space? And hence that's how John and I got talking. I'll be honest, I wasn't convinced originally that we could fit it into this space, but we've certainly have, and things are going from strength to strength. We're able to show a few people how we can bring the hedge fund experience into this space, and long may it continue. I've been trading in these markets for well over 30 years, and bringing the two worlds together has worked very well, I have to say. Especially this year has been, we couldn't have picked a perfect time to start as we have, because in a very downward difficult year with inflation raging and other things happening, the markets have all been in a bit of free fall, and we've been able to take advantage of that, so we're very happy with the way things are going. We've got a very good concept and a very good project, with defined end goals, etc. And we're going to be adding some other aspects to that along the way over the next 3 to 6 months. So far, so good.
Wow. Very good to hear. So it sounds like you have some catalysts in the pipeline.
Absolutely, yep.
Wow.
People have already seen how the kind of trading I do, and we're going to add a few different strings to that over the next few months.
Okay. And again, I really like the idea. Someone like me who doesn't necessarily have a lot of experience in traditional trading, it gives you a sense of security, having any kind of faith in a project such as this, where you can just, go and put your I don't want to say dumb money, but in a sense, you go put your dumb money into this pool, and you let the smart money handle it for you, in a sense.
Yeah, well, hopefully exactly that. We're attracting them kind of people, and like I said, we have a very, very good community. The people, I have to say, I'm very impressed with the whole community that we have. The people that understand it are backing us 100%. People that don't have got out, and every time we see dips in the market, we're seeing regular buying of our token, and I think overall we're doing the right thing, and we've got the right people around us, so it's all good.
Very nice. I don't want to interrupt. I was just going to say I did get a little bag, when I first, when your project kind of came across my desk. So I definitely want to, I like to do that, especially with those that I conduct an AMA with. Not financial advice, but I tend to just, kind of see where it goes. And I did notice that just, I guess, in the last day, there was kind of a dip and then it got eaten, looked like instantly. So that, to me, that bodes well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very impressed with the way people understand things, and they can see the value,
Yeah.
as we can, And also, obviously, one of the big things is John and I and the rest of the team are very transparent. We're always available, within reason. We're happy to come on these calls.
Right.
We don't hide behind anything, and we'll happily answer any questions you have.
That's the key word, is happily answer any questions we have. Because sometimes, obviously, I'm not trying to generate FUD especially if it's a good project, but ask me anything. It entails, being asked anything. So I appreciate you guys' transparency and willingness to tackle any kind of question that we may have for you. And I have a couple, but usually my questions are softballs. But the Alliance tends to have the more zingers for our guests. So
Yeah, good.
we enjoy.
The only thing that I
Yeah,
will say,
great.
we don't have a dev on with us today. So anything
Okay.
too extreme, we'll be honest with you. Just say we can't answer it. We'll come back to you. We won't try
Absolutely.
and curve it or blow any smoke up anybody's behind or
And
anything like
that's,
that. Be totally honest.
that's all we can ask, really, because there's, when you're looking deep into the history and all this kind of stuff, sometimes you do need your laptop just to pull it up and verify. And to be clear,
the good thing
go ahead.
is, and especially with like the conversation we were having briefly earlier about one of your last scenarios, is that something else that's really that I was adamant from the start that I wanted to do is obviously, again, when you see a project, especially on BSC, there's X amount of taxes, and X amount of taxes are going to marketing wallets and team wallets and everything else. And 9 times out of 10, there's a question saying, what was that sell-off for? Because that amount of money hasn't been spent on marketing, etc. So something that I did, which to be honest, I don't know if I would have done it when I started, knowing how difficult it's been, especially with us growing the funds and wanting to have the money to throw at marketing that other projects have got. But like I say, we've grown, we've had the other side of the wheel where everything that we've done has pretty much been organic. We've done some call groups and things like Travlad and things like that, and Golems, etc. But the majority of what we've done has all been organic and word of mouth, which is brilliant because it means that everybody that's coming across is being looked after, they're being understood, and we're not having the moonbag when Lambo guys coming in
Exactly.
trying to take over the project. So one thing that I did
real
from the
believers,
beginning
real investors
was made sure that the company costs. So we didn't have. I mean, even the dev. When I brought the dev on board, it was basically, this is what the project is going to be, and this is what you might earn in the future. What we didn't do was give the dev a wallet to have his own tokens. None of the team members that came on at a later date, neither me or Dennis had our own token wallets. Obviously, some friends and family do and have, but all of the company costs, so payroll, marketing, and any expense is paid from the profits that we make out of trading or out of Dennis and my own pocket. There's never a token sold or bought that money is then going into our pockets. And even now when we've just changed to a deflationary token, all of the taxes for the buys and the sells that are bought from the token itself are going straight into the lockup wallet to make it a deflationary token. So again, that's one big factor that I think we've again got over most projects, is that we haven't got a black hole of money where people need to look into it and see where it's going and why we're selling at certain times, etc.
Nice. Yeah, sounds like it could help. Definitely. You seem to have a sustainable business model from what I'm hearing, and so we do look forward to hearing any kind of questions from the Alliance. We will, of course, thanks to the team, we'll have a $50 BUSD prize to the best question once again. So Make sure you have them ready for us.
It'll be nice to hear some decent questions rather than the usual stuff. To be fair, and from listening to
Yeah,
your
and
past one, go on.
it is nice just to engage with intelligent people, which we have a lot of those here in the Alliance as well. So I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, good. That's exactly what I was going to say. Was intelligent questions are welcomed rather than the usual stuff of when marketing,
When moon.
Yeah, when moon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what this token's built for, right? It's that we're finding that the majority of the people, not saying that you haven't got a 25-year-old that's got his head on his shoulders that understands the project and has put everything he can afford into this project, but the majority of our guys are sort of 30, 35 years old plus. They've got family. They've got the mortgage.
I'm in that demographic.
Yeah, they're in a decent job, and crypto is a hobby for them. It's not the 16-year-old that sat behind his laptop trying to front run every project he sees coming onto the space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And so, if you don't mind, how many holders are you guys up to at this time?
Mark, you've probably got the updated figure. It's about 1150, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, about that. That's about as many wallets as we've got. We're on the PancakeSwap exchange. So yeah, we've got about 1,150 wallet holders.
And again, if anybody is there looking at those holders and those buyers, you'll see we've got some very interesting stats. I mean, the top 100 holders, Mark, own about 80% and have never sold. Like,
yeah,
so we're just adding to their bags constantly.
From launch, we've got a really strong, diamond handlers, so to speak, who haven't, sold. They've stayed with us, and they're reaping the benefits, and they see the vision of GTR. So, yeah, we've got some, really sort of strong hands in the community.
Yeah, it certainly is a unique and like I said, great idea in my opinion. So I can't really blame them. Again, as long as you guys continue with development and just consistency, I see no reason why that would change. And again, it's just that bit of security from knowing that
Exactly. We're not
kind of in the hands of someone that has a whole lot of experience, a lot more experience than the average investor. That's for damn sure.
Can we get an outline of how it actually works, please, guys? So those that are going to listen to this later on who may not be able to ask a question could get a fuller understanding.
That'd be great.
So,
Mark,
I mean,
tokenomics.
What I'll say around the tokenomics is the supply is 100 million. We've currently got about 85% of that supply in circulation. There's approximately 15 million left. The price is at a good price because of the rest of the market currently. With the current market, with like Bitcoin and BNB prices, low. It's a good price to get in. Also, the beauty of our token is the deflationary aspect of it. So normally what you find in the BSC space is there'll be a marketing, from the taxes, the buyers and sell taxes from a token. All of those taxes go into a wallet, and then that's then sold and dumped on the chart, and then it's converted into BNB or BUSD, and then it's used for marketing. Well, we don't actually do that. We lock our tokens away. So all the buyers and sell taxes go into a locked wallet for minimum 5 years. And the reason for that is that we aim to essentially buy back the GTR tokens from the company profits at the end of the 48 months. So it's a deflationary model, which means in turn will increase the price. So yeah, it's been thought through, and we've had some people from the community helping out, and we've come up with this new model, and it's working very nicely.
Very cool. And besides that, have you done any burns planned? I know that It's not for every token. I'm just wondering.
We're not burning tokens. We're just locking them away so that they're going into a locked wallet essentially.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So that does help, and we may get some questions out of that, but yeah, that does absolutely help to know that there is a deflationary aspect. It's just one of the kind of the
There is
things to
if
check off. Go ahead.
If Carf or Magnus were here, there is a reason for when the contract was created for some of the coding that's in our contract and the way that it works. It meant that we couldn't burn as well. I think, is that right, Mark? Or it wouldn't act in the same way that we need it to. Or
exactly. I think, like, obviously the way that we've done it is a similar principle, and the tokens are just going to be locked away, and it's the same. It kind of creates the same. Locking those tokens away means we can't essentially sell them. They're locked away forever. So, and I think we've got about 12 million locked away, and we're looking to lock away up to, or it would be 2 million tokens a month. But if we don't have 2 million tokens in the buy and sell taxes wallet, let's say we lock away 2 million tokens in July, but then there's not enough for August. We'll skip August, and then we'll essentially, when there's 2 million tokens in that wallet, we'll then lock away another amount. So we may not lock away 2 million every month, but if we can, we will.
I gotcha. And what this was audited, I assume.
Yeah, it's been audited by CERT.
CERTIC.
Yeah, we were CERTIC audited on day one.
Oh, damn. Okay. And so, I obviously, I assume you guys passed, but
yeah, we passed.
Yeah, I mean, you can get the CERTIC audit link on our website. It's on the if you go to our website, GTR, so www.gtr.uk, you'll see the CERTIC. There's a CERTIC button at the top left of the site.
Oh, fantastic! That many traders see that as a seal of approval. So,
yep. There's the white papers there as well for anybody that would like to have a look at that.
Okay, and once again, can you just let me know the age, like how old is it exactly? GTR.
6 months now.
6 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
We launched. So something worth mention as well. So before the project actually launched on the 18th of December, that was when the token launched. We raised around about £300,000 or $500,000, something like that. We raised that before launching the token, and Dennis was able to take those funds off chain, trade them, and then return the profits back to the holders before we launched the token, just to kind of prove
to
his holders that we have real utility. So everybody got their got their funds back, and then we launched, it was very successful. We had a really good launch. We did it ourselves. We did our own launch, so it was really good, and it's been a very successful 6 months, and we've had some good.
And go ahead.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I appreciate you guys reaching out, because honestly, what you're doing somewhat coincides with the mission of why we created the Crypto Alliance, and that is to, again, not only give people, possible safe projects to look into and invest in possibly, but we're looking at, innovative ways that perhaps we could, as new investors, just somewhat pool our money and just find a way to make something out of it. So again, your idea in general kind of coincides with what I'm trying to achieve as well. So I really like that.
Yeah. So I think it's probably worth mentioning that we have, so obviously on top of owning the token, you'll
Mhm.
you'll get paid rewards each month from the hedge fund. So that will be paid out to all of the token holders. We
And is
have
there a minimum holding you need in order to receive that benefit?
I mean, if you hold in a very little amount of tokens, you're obviously not going to get great rewards. Obviously, the more you hold, the bigger the rewards are. But what we've
So technically
done,
no minimum though.
there's no
Sounds right.
minimum. There's no minimum hold.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you'll still receive rewards.
And
Now,
that's in BUSD once monthly?
correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
on the last Thursday of every month,
Okay.
we aim to pay out the rewards. You know, the weekend after the last Thursday of every month.
That is
That's
automated, I would assume.
there's a bit of involvement from the team required
Okay.
to
Because
to
things
achieve
like
it.
that aren't necessarily easy. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
there's a bit of work that needs to go into that. It's not
Okay.
as it's a bit, we
But it
obviously
is,
there's
members obviously will verify that it is working and their payments come through every last Thursday of
correct.
the month. Okay.
Yeah, we've not missed it, and like I say, every month we've made profits, and it's been paid out to all the holders.
Beautiful.
I think from January to date, we're around about 29% profit.
Okay.
So if you consider December, we're
Mhm.
actually at around about 40% because we.
And if you, sorry, Mark, just to interrupt, but if you compare that to the reports that came out the end of last month, so the end of May, sorry, the end of May, sorry, end of April, you'll see that the top hedge funds in the world were ranting and raving because some of them were showing quarterly returns of around 9% for the quarter, where we obviously doubled that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
nothing to
worth
sneeze at,
mentioning.
especially
So
in this market. Go ahead.
obviously we've got a lot of the funds are off chain, and the actual trading pot is around about $1.3 million, and it's growing every month because we've got like an ecosystem that's essentially growing the GTR token trading pool. So all the people that are holding tokens, as that pool gets bigger, people's rewards also get bigger, and as there's buy and sells happening on the token, the supply is getting less, and that basically means that you're getting a bit bigger percentage share of the pot. So as time goes on, your rewards get bigger, and it's a bit of a genius way that we've built this whole ecosystem.
It makes sense. I saw the video. Well, both of those videos that you guys had recommended, which kind of breaks down how it works, and those really helped. They were really informative.
And I mean obviously the trading the GTR token trading pool is actually fed by the NFT taxes. We've got the NFT side of things, which we can talk about
Yeah, I was going to
a
ask
bit
about that.
later. But yeah,
They're
essentially,
beautiful, by the way, in my opinion. I'm an artist as well, so I like them.
thank you. So with regards to the NFTs, there's taxes that are applied to those NFTs that's feeding the GTR token trading pool.
Okay.
So yeah, for every top up, it's like 5% of the top up goes into the GTR trading pool, and then every time somebody compounds, that also goes in there as well.
It looks like there is demand for the NFTs as well. I've seen a lot of your members sporting the NFTs as their profile pictures, which
I mean,
you don't always see. Honestly, you see these NFT projects, and you would think you would see more members with the profile picture representing their favorite project. But with you guys, a lot of people are sporting these beautiful NFTs. And this is another question I had: is generally with reward tokens, anything that rewards investors, members will kind of end up just really excited about the rewards that they get, and they end up, kind of posting screenshots and things like this. Have you guys had any really enthusiastic member that has shared
Well, I mean, the other thing
a
that
crazy amount of rewards that you could share with it?
yeah, I'm sure there is. I mean, obviously there'll be community members that will do that. I mean, they speak on the community all the time.
Cool.
The other thing to mention is that with most reward projects, obviously they're fed by the liquidity and the volume in the token, whereas ours isn't. If we had no volume, no buyers, no sells, or everybody else had sold their tokens in a particular month, and we fell out of the stratosphere in terms of like Luna did, for example, then our rewards next month would probably still, well, in fact, would almost guarantee to be higher than they are the following month, as long as Dennis was performing in the same average that he has done for the last 6 months.
Wow. That's
so
huge.
a green candle or a red candle or no volume makes no difference to the reward cycle at all.
Wow. Yeah, not everyone can say that. Again, I wanted to bring my members, I wanted to bring some attention to a token that I actually really like, and the team is solid. They're doing, pretty much everything they can, but there's just no volume because, it is kind of have high taxes, and therefore it's just not going anywhere. But the team isn't going anywhere, but neither is the price. So that is a real, issue to be considered. So it's great that you kind of have that, in the bag.
Yeah, exactly. That was another thing that we wanted to make sure was that the chart is almost non-existent, and it's not as much as it was before, because now buys and sells are just topping up the token holders. So if you own tokens and somebody sells or buys, then that pool is just being added to. So your reward share has just got bigger from a buy or a sell. To be honest, if you speak to all of our community, they want everybody else to sell their bag. I mean, you'll see when we had a fairly big dump of about, I think it was about 40 BNB a couple of weeks ago. There was no FUD, there was no sales that followed it, there was no panic selling. We dropped about 20, 24, 25% in token price. And all that happened was you had 200 members in the group that are all community holders, just literally patting the guy on the back saying, "Thank you very much. Thank you for those taxes."
Yes.
Yeah, and a dip opportunity, for real believers.
Yeah,
exactly that. And then we bought them back. The community bought them back. We all bought that dip because that was the best thing that could happen.
Beautiful. So there was like a coordinated buyback by the team as well as the community, or just all the community kind of banded together and said, "Let's get back to where we were."
The team doesn't do any buybacks. The team, the team, the non-owners, i.e., everybody else outside of Dennis and me, probably have their own bags, but we don't, purely to make sure that we don't have that influence.
Okay, I got you, and that makes sense too. I kind of like that as well. So that's great.
Yeah. We only get paid if everybody else gets paid. That's the if we don't have a good month, we don't perform, then we don't get paid.
If I could just jump in, I'm just a community member, but I just want to show the enthusiasm that we all have in this. We buy the dip for a very, very good reason. The ultimate goal is to get hold of an NFT. It's your savings account.
I was going to ask.
If you put a lot of money into that, if you put a lot of money into an NFT, you get a better reward value out of it. But if you don't have a lump sum to put into it, the best way to accumulate your finance to put in, your liquidity, is to buy the token as early as you can, which is why we do. When someone sells, we buy, because we're getting the dip, which is better for us rather than buying the chart. That token value is going to increase. It cannot help but increase because of the deflationary mechanism that we have involved in the project, which means the net asset value of that token, come what may, will rise. And at that particular point, at some stage in the future, a lot of us will sell a proportion of our bag to be able to put that lump sum of liquidity into our NFTs, which give us a much better reward value. And so it's a completed circle. If you stay with the project, keep the faith, in 48 months' time, well, it's now 46 months' time, there shouldn't be any tokens available. And that's something that's not been talked about at the moment. This project has a token life of 48 months. Okay, well, now we've got 46 months because of how it worked out. But that's the sort of rush to get to where you want to go. Everyone's, a month is a year in crypto. We all know that. But in 48 months or 46 months, there's no more tokens. And this isn't fun. This isn't like getting there, or FOMO, I should say. This isn't getting there and getting. This is legitimately what's going to happen. There's no token in this project. It is just exclusively NFTs. The NFTs, as I'm sure the guys will tell you, are extremely high interest savings accounts. So you buy the token. A lot of us are mixing it up. We're putting a bit into NFTs and are buying the token because we know that's going to lump it up further on down the line. And it's such a clever ecosystem. Once you get your head around it, you just think, why the hell have I bothered elsewhere? Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to share my enthusiasm for the project. I'm not part of the team. I'm just one of the guys.
From a holder.
Ali, could we maybe move to some questions from your community?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I did real quick. Just wanted to ask about the NFTs specifically. How do you go about getting an NFT? Is it as simple as buying a token?
Okay, so let me answer that one. So we did have a minting page for the NFTs when we launched them, but we sold out very quickly. Now, when about sort of a month or two passed, and we changed the whole tokenomics and all the structure of the whole project, and because some people had bought 2 or more NFTs, some people had 2, some people even had 10. So what we decided to do was, because it doesn't make sense for somebody to hold more than one NFT.
The marketplace.
I've been acting as escrow essentially between new people coming into the project and existing NFT holders. So people have been sending me their NFTs, and I've been selling them for people through the Telegram. Essentially, they'll send me the BUSD, which is 1359 for the NFT, because that's the standard price of our NFTs. And then once I've received those funds, I'll then send that NFT on to the new buyer. We are actually working on a marketplace, and that will be coming in the sort of coming weeks. But yeah, that's kind of where we are with the NFTs. So they're actually 1359, and that is paid in BUSD, and 10% of that is taxes. So that leaves 1,233 or 1,223, and that is what goes into the hedge fund that's then traded by Dennis. And then you would receive, off the profits, you would receive 52.5%, and the rest of the 47.5% then goes into the company profits.
Nice.
And we have a new bunch of NFTs being launched when we launch the marketplace in 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. And it sounds like in the meantime, I'm sure you guys aren't making people wait forever for their NFTs. So
I mean, if anybody's got any questions around the NFTs, feel free to send me a DM. I will answer any questions. I can even send you a video demonstration of how it all works. So I'll be more than happy to answer that. And I do have a few NFTs available for anybody who is interested.
And we've also got our own DApp, which runs us alongside the tokens and the NFTs, so people can see their earnings and see their forecasts. And top up.
Exactly.
Calculator.
We've got on the DApp side, so you can connect your Trust Wallet or MetaMask to view your NFT. You can actually see the transactions on the NFT, so any top ups that you've done. Any auto compounding, you can auto compound as well, so you can reinvest your profit without receiving them and then topping up again, if you know what I mean. So we've saved sending funds back and forth from fiat to crypto by people auto compounding, and essentially the topping up element is it shows obviously your balance, any pending deposits or top ups that you've got, and things like that. So I've got a video demonstration, so if you're interested, just drop me a DM and I'll send it over.
That sounds great. With that, unless you guys have anything more to add, I guess we'll open it up for questions.
I think we're good to open up to questions from your community for sure.
Okay, great. So let's have a look here. Looks like
This is
we
this is
have a
what usually
whole.
happens.
Anybody who wants to speak up, just unmute yourself, I suppose.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, Mindy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi.
My question is okay regarding your project. In every project, the team must face a problem, even in real life. In every successful thing you are building, you must face a problem. So my question is, what are the problems that this team of this project had been facing, and how are they able to how are they able to solve it, and how are they ready for future or unforeseen problems, and how fast can the team respond to problems that may affect the project?
Yeah, that's a good question. I could probably answer that, and then anybody else could probably jump in. Look, Dennis and I on and forgive me if I sound like I might be offending anybody, but IT geeks that have come up with a decent tokenomic strategy and then tried to build a community off of it and obviously offer it to people on the space. We're both from business backgrounds. Obviously, Dennis has got a fair amount of more years experience than I have of running big teams and sales floors and trading floors in big banks, etc. I've had a financial background, sales background for most of my life in real world businesses. I've had 5 or 6 of my own businesses successfully in the past, and worked for myself for the last sort of 10 or 15 years. So we have a vast amount of experience when it comes to actually running real corporate, small to medium sized companies, and being part of a bigger cog with global companies. So a lot of the problems and things like that, and you'll find that from how we've explained that we've set GTR up. I mean, obviously, in terms of the things that could become a problem, we like to think that we've managed to nip them in the bud before they could ever get presented to the public. And since launch, obviously, we've built up a decent following, a decent community, and a decent what we call our core team now. So, for example, Mark probably came. He was a project a contributor in the early stages, and it's only been in the last 3 months or so, maybe 4, that he's actually been a part of the core team, and only just recently, as of tomorrow, been promoted slightly further up the food chain. But we've got a decent community. We're not talking about a community of 16 or 17-year-olds that are out of college. We're talking about people around us that have got real world experience in actual business life. So a lot of the problems that a lot of projects will face, we've managed to not have them just because of the way that we've set this up. And as and when we do get anything that we need to deal with, the team is, I mean, look, we've probably got around 35 people that we would consider team. About 10 of those are core, close-knit decision makers. And any problem that we've had, we've never not been able to fix it within a day or so. But there hasn't been many, to be honest with you. I mean, the biggest one was somebody that we had involved in our project that we gave more control to than Dennis and I should have done. That was sort of disbanding the team a little bit and giving false hopes and creating a bit of animosity between team members because they didn't have access to us. And one thing that we've wanted to make sure from the start is that even if you're a token holder that's bought $10 worth, if you want to speak to myself or Dennis, you've got that access. And obviously you should definitely have that access if you work for us.
Can I add something to that, John?
Okay.
As you said, good question. I like the question. What we also do is we listen to our contributors. Okay, so we listen to them, and if they come up with ideas, unique ideas that work for us, we're happy to implement them. So if there is any problems, we put it out there, and someone amongst, as we said, we've got 1,150 contributors now. Someone has always got a pretty good answer to these problems. So we're not afraid to listen to everyone and take on good advice.
Great responses.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for that question. And lastly, in every project, when there is good community behind it, then that project is like bound to succeed. So my question is, how experienced is the team to like manage the community to make sure that this project succeed? Thank you.
Needs to sorry, yeah, another good question. I think you just need to have a look at our community telegram to see that we've not just got 1,100 holders. We've got an army of people. I mean, you can look back through. I mean, we don't really delete messages, even if unless it's scam messages and people trying to spam. But even people that are asking difficult questions, the messages aren't deleted and they're faced head on. So our community, we've got 15 or 20 full-time mods that are dotted around the world, most bases at silly hours in UK time, sort of 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes, just because of time differences. We don't have anyone covering the chat for an hour or two, but worst case scenario, within on 99% of the time, within a few minutes, you'll have an answer to your question or query, and worst case scenario, I'd say within 2 hours, you would have been responded to by a senior member of the team that will answer the question. So, yeah, I don't think that's another thing is that our community is very unique. I mean, I've got probably 600 or 700 communities on my other phone, on my Telegram, where I was playing about with this space, and I genuinely don't think that there is one like our community. And I may be being biased, but just head over to our group and have a look and speak to one of our holders. You'll get the same answer.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for that great answer, and good luck on this project. I'm looking forward to I'm checking it out right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again for the great questions, Mendy.
Hello guys, can you hear me?
And anybody else? Now is the time to ask some questions for Ghost Trader.
Yeah, Jira
Yeah,
Shalom,
yeah,
trying to speak. His volume needs to be turned
can you
up.
guys hear me? I'm audible.
Hi.
Have we got?
Hear you. We can hear you, Jurek. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So first of all, thanks for the great opportunity, and I do commend you guys for the great presentation. Because actually, I've been listening to this presentation for quite a long time now, and it's a great one. So I'll say, great stuff to you and your team. Yeah, great stuff to you guys. So my question is based on the project itself. Yeah. So I would like to know how do you plan to give investors confidence in your project? First, in terms of security and safety of their funds, especially knowing that most of your target investors are coming from the BSC, and most of them have also been a victim of scam projects. And also, I would like to know what rewards am I going to get if I bring in new investors into your project to participate in your project? Yeah, and what rewards are the investors going to get too? Not only me, but also the investors when they do participate in your project. Hope you get the question.
Good, Mark. You probably want to answer that one.
Yeah. Well, we've so I think the first part of the question was around the rewards. So I think if you're buying the GTR token, your rewards over time are gonna increase because of the fact that we're increasing the trading pool size. It's getting bigger month over month. The rewards will start to get higher for all of the holders of the token. I think the other part of the question you asked was how you would get better benefit from bringing in people to the project. We're on our next line of NFTs, which will be the silver NFTs. There is going to be a referral program, meaning that if you refer somebody to the project who buys an NFT, you will receive 2% of the company profit of that NFT for the foreseeable future. And yeah, that includes obviously if that person then tops up their NFT, which means that their rewards are going to be higher. It then means that 2% is going to be a higher value in BUSD. So yeah, that's something that's come into our project as well, to reward people who are referring new people to the project. Does that answer your questions?
Yeah. You do answer my question. Do you mind if I ask one more question, if that would be okay?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So the question is basically about the funding aspects of your project, because I've been listening to this AMA and you guys haven't discussed about the funding aspects of the project. So I would like to know how, when it comes to the fundings of your project, how do you plan to satisfy yourself and also the investors in your project? Like when it comes to the funding of your project, how do you plan to create a balance between you and the investors in order for you to benefit from your project and also to make the investors in your project also benefit from your project when it comes to the funding of your project?
We have answered that, and we to the majority of the people that are involved in the project at the moment, they're getting at least half of the profits that we make from the trading. So that's something that we wanted to make sure that we did from the start to stand out from other projects and other opportunities, not just in the real world, but in the crypto space as well. So as I said before, project funding comes from us doing well. We don't look for funding from our community members. We need to show positive results at the end of every month in order to be able to do what we want to do and to pay ourselves. So I think maybe you weren't involved at that part of the conversation. But in terms of funding, Dennis and I, or the returns that Ghost Trader makes, that it belongs to Ghost Trader, that's what funds the project, and the community members get the rest of what's left, which is currently between 50 and 65%.
Yeah, great stuff, man. Great stuff. I would like to ask more questions, but I think there are a lot of people here that want to ask the question. Yeah, so thanks for the great opportunity and nice project to the moon.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, if
Gerard,
anyone else...
you just mentioned about security as well. Earlier on, it was said there was a CERTIC audit on the project, which we passed. And just so everyone else knows, the wallets are all multi-sig, so there's security in that for everyone as well.
Thanks again for the input. As a holder, that does help.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's got any other questions, feel free. We're happy to answer anything. No question is a silly question.
All right. Hello.
So...
Exactly.
Yep. Hello.
Hello. That was a nice presentation from you two. I'd like to ask my question from the aspect of your NFT staking. So if I decided to stake for a period of time, I do believe that there are rewards that are accrued to me. And is the NFT transferable to another person?
Sorry, what was the last bit you asked? The question?
Is the NFT transferable to another person?
Yes. Yeah. So essentially, the way it works is that if you hold an NFT and you want to transfer it to a different wallet, that new wallet will then start to receive the rewards at the end of each month. Is that what you were asking? Yeah.
Yes. That's what I'm asking.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah.
Another.
Yep. Go ahead.
You want to say something?
No. Go ahead.
All right. Another thing I would like to ask is that do you put marketing strategy in place to push for the outside the space?
Are you asking, are we looking to bring people in from outside of crypto? Was that the question?
Yes.
Yeah, I can answer that. So we are looking to bring people from outside of crypto. One example of that is that we recently attended a summit that was aimed at other sort of hedge funds or alternative investments. Crypto was a hot subject at that summit, but in previous years it's not been a crypto event. It's been more of a hedge fund and alternative investments, and Ghost Trader attended that, and out of it we've had really good outcome. So yes, in short, we are looking for investors outside of crypto. Or yep, that does that answer your question?
Thank you very much.
That was another great question. I appreciate you, Mr. Solo. And let's keep the questions going if we can. Anybody else?
Yeah, well, like I say, don't be afraid to ask if you've got a question. Just All
right, can I come up now?
Yes.
All right, great. So great presentation so far. Yeah, you guys you've done justice to the presentation, but my question now comes from the behind the scenes I see from your website. That is, it says when we buy the token, when you buy the Ghost Traders, these traders are working for you. Then you talked about some experienced traders. But my question now is, how do we verify and know that these traders are really experienced? Will you expose us to these traders so that we see the strategies they are using? Because many people today just claim they are experts and they blow portfolios. So how do you know that the traders are really experienced? That's the question.
Yeah, the traders on the call now. It's Dennis that was talking earlier, and at the end of every month, we publish the full report of every trade that's been placed. And occasionally, you'll see he will come in and he'll give updates on the market, where he thinks it's going, and he'll give the community tips. Like, for example, if you go into our chat earlier or even a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about BTC falling out of its arse and dropping to the levels that it did, Dennis, our trader, had called it about 3 weeks beforehand, almost to the penny.
Wow.
Of what BTC was going to go to. Gold,
very interesting.
A lot of the time as well.
Go
so
ahead.
yeah, he's and he's on the call now. So yeah, any questions you've got?
One question that actually brings to my mind is so that there is like a ledger of sorts.
Yeah, no, of course, and that ledger is also audited by regulated UK accountants.
Wow, that is huge. Because you know what, a member had actually posed that question to me, and me, in my inexperience, I forgot to ask you guys that right away. But it's great to clear that up now, because that was actually a great question that member had posted. So yeah, I appreciate the question there, Captain Black, and for your guys' transparency.
People at the beginning of the project, and one of the main questions was, why aren't you guys showing yourselves and your faces and what you're doing and doxing? We doxed to everybody. We doxed to Pink Sale when we were going to launch with them. We doxed with Phoenix. We doxed with Golem's Gems. We doxed with Venom. We doxed with the people that wanted to see those details.
Doc's crazy.
Also, John, if you're a member of our community, you know exactly who I am because I make it quite clear. So, and going back to the question before, if you're a member of the Telegram group, and to be a member, you need to be in the project. I drop various hints and different bits of information in on a regular basis, as the guys will tell you here. I've
forward that info to the Alliance. Go ahead.
I put some info in today in what respect to what I see happening in the next 3 to 6 months in terms of crypto and obviously other markets. So it's always available, the information, and if anybody wants to ask me anything, they know they can approach me. I try and jump in the voice chat 2 or 3 times a week to chat with people and discuss the markets also.
And one
Love
thing,
that
John,
idea.
Just if I
True
can add to
asset.
that as well, guys. Just a very quick important thing. At 19 minutes past 6 British Standard Time, British Summer Time, I posted something in the group that gave you a picture of all of the percentage returns from the beginning of this year until the close of business a couple of days ago. It shows you how much experience our trader has, because in these harsh times of war, etc., he's bringing home the money for us. So it's all in black and white there.
Beautiful. Feel free to share any of that information in the group. We'll look into it, obviously.
John, one thing to mention as well.
Yeah, it is posted in your group at 19 minutes past 6.
Somebody's feedback is awful. Somebody else has got another chat going on, and it's coming back through the mic.
Yeah, John, can I just mention one thing as well? Don't forget, before the token was launched.
Just looking at unmuted mics. I see Mark is unmuted. Did you have a question, Mark?
Hello.
Oh, there we go. It's that mic. Whoever's trying to talk.
Oh, it's me. Sorry. Yeah. So, John, I was just gonna say that. Don't forget, before the token was launched, I think it was either you or Dennis. You leaked your personal email address as well. So
He did. Yeah. Dennis did. He did.
Yes, it was me. It was me.
And the amount of investment that we got when he actually dropped his personal email address, which obviously was linked to his LinkedIn profile, we got double the amount of money we raised in 24 hours.
and it wasn't done on purpose. It was an error. Yeah.
I hear you. That certainly bodes well, though, I'd say.
The only reason we haven't stuck our face on a website in our history, look, I'm a sales background. I haven't got Dennis's experience, and I'm not a trader. I've just come up with the idea. But the reason why we're not putting ourselves in the line is because we will be in the firing line. Like everybody that knows this space and obviously knows the investment world, we're going to be pissing off some pretty big players. As I said, the top hedge fund in the world posted at the end of last month that they've returned 9% to their clients for the year. We've done double that. So we're what we're doing is we're giving access to people in every corner and every continent and every currency of the world access to Dennis. And we're going to be we will piss people off at some point in the future. And obviously if we're saying this is where we are, this is who we are, and this is what we're doing, they know exactly where to come. Whereas they don't now. Like, we're totally protected, our client funds are protected, and the company's registered in the St. Kitts for tax reasons, and because there's nobody in St. Kitts running around trying to work out who runs Ghost Trader.
Huge potential. I love the idea. Any more questions? Sure, we got to have some.
I mean, just to add to that, most hedge funds are registered offshore. It's a standard practice amongst many hedge funds. We're just following suit, essentially.
Yeah, it's for tax reasons that they're registered offshore. But obviously, when we get to a point of where we're 3, 4, and 5 times, and when we start bringing on some of the other use cases that we've got planned for GTR, we're going to be even more in the spotlight. And obviously, as we say, we're going to be pissing off the old boys club of the boys that want to keep that money for themselves. And the fact that we're giving the average Joe the opportunity to a hedge fund trader that normally you'd need £500,000 to have his phone number and get the opportunity for him to trade for you if he had time. We've opened the doors and we've opened the floodgates to everybody. So we're like I say, we're just making sure that we're doing our best. Look, we may well get to a point in a year or two's time where we've got 4,000 or 5,000 holders, and as all of my community know, that I was asked a question the other day in terms of at the end of the project life, which is what we've said 4 years now, where we'll be looking to buy all of the tokens out of the projects and will effectively be an NFT only holders members club. What would be my benchmark of success? And my benchmark of success is that when we're done and dusted, if that ever happens with GTR, I've then got a few thousand people that are knocking on my door with a check saying, "What's next? What are we doing now?" That to me is the success. And obviously, when we do that, rather than me and Dennis just coming up with an idea of trying to build a strategy, I've now got something that I didn't have in the past, and people who've worked for financial companies will know this. Taking personal clients from one project to another, personal clients, company clients that you've built good relationships from one project or one opportunity to another, is a suable offence in 99% of cases. Now, I've already got 1,200 people that for the last 6 months have been making decent money with myself. So who knows where we'll be in 12 months' time when Dennis and I have another idea or start adding to the wings of this project.
Very interesting. And it's great that you have a clear goal as well.
As I say, we get deals all the time. It might well be in 3 years' time where every holder is a shareholder of a bank that we've been involved and bought. I mean, I was saying a couple of months ago, Dennis and I were working on a deal with somebody where somebody had an offshore bank that was for sale for 5 million quid. 5 million quid when you've got 4,000 or 5,000 holders, you could raise in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So much that's that's on the horizon for this project. The difference between this project and all the other, or what I've seen in all the other BSC projects, is that this has real utility. It is a profitable business. We've got a trader who's got 35 years experience with some of the biggest institutions in the world, top 10.
Who also has a team around him, Mark. It's not just him. Obviously, there's another couple of traders and a couple of analysts, but he is the guy that pushes the button and makes the decisions.
Yes, and access to trading tools that the average person doesn't have access to as well. There's so much to this project that once you start to understand and do research and find out and get information from our community, you'll start to realize that it is a hidden gem, and it has a lot of potential.
What is the market cap at right now, if you don't mind?
It's 2 million at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, sounds like
I mean, I started off as a contributor, obviously now working on the project, but I haven't sold my my primary tokens. I still hold them from the beginning, so I've got no reason to sell them. I see the the benefits of holding them long term. So I mean, I did have a separate wallet which I did sell, but that was only to buy an NFT with. So I've the money that I've made in the project has gone back into the project to buy an NFT. So that is essentially what holding the token allows you to do is if you buy some tokens now, down the road you probably have enough money to buy an NFT and put significant funds into that NFT.
It's probably also worth just mentioning, Mark, on that note, is that obviously when we were a project, the NFTs were going to be working slightly differently. Something that we did as well that I wanted to do is that I understood that there was people out there that didn't have $1,400 to spend on an NFT. So what we did was it actually gave them access to a payment plan. So we hold their NFT for them. They pay what they can afford every month, and that NFT is sat in a wallet held on a multi-sig account by GTR, and is earning rewards. And when they pay that that final balance off, they're then handed the NFT that they might have taken a year or two to pay for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then would they have access to those rewards, or would the rewards begin once they finally acquire them?
Only the rewards once they've got them. So
they're doing its thing, waiting for them, ready for them.
Exactly.
Very
It's doing its thing the way, and they can see that it's working. And like I say, again, people would come in, they'd they'd buy a small amount of tokens, and they're using the rewards from that token to pay off their NFTs. And I mean, I say this a lot, but find me another project out there that you've actually got an NFT that's worth something that you could transfer to another wallet, forget about, come back in 3 months' time, and regardless of what's happened to the token price, you know that there'll be extra money in that wallet available for you to spend. There isn't. I mean, people are paying £200,000 for the picture of a monkey as an NFT. We've got people.
Oh boy! Don't get me started on Bored Ape.
We've got people that have got $50,000 or $60,000 in their NFT. Now, obviously, you yourself and some of your community members will probably understand. Can you imagine when our marketplace opens and you've got somebody that says, "I've got an NFT that's got $60,000 in it here. I've put $60,000 of my own money in it, and it's been paying me 5% a month for the last 6 months. How much is that NFT actually worth?" People, if you went and bought a business that would be earning you £2,000 a month residual income that somebody had ploughed $60,000 or $70,000 into before they sold it on to you, it's a couple of $100,000 to buy that business all day long.
Yeah,
because there's only the only thing, because obviously on that, there's only so many seats at the table. We're not going to just keep minting NFTs. We can't keep adding funds to the trading pot. There's going to become a time where it's, we've got to essentially close the doors, because otherwise it's going to become too big to manage. So,
but you get too big to you start manipulating the market, and there's no point in trading. I think Dennis said his figure was, what was it, Dennis? Was it 50 or 100 million where the tipping point is?
Okay.
50 mil would be the tipping point, yeah.
It sounds to me like you guys are able to say a lot of things that nobody else can. It sounds like innovation to me, and I'm all about innovation, especially in this space, and about making things easier for the common investor as well, which I'm also all about. So I really couldn't thank you guys enough for approaching.
Thank you. Has anyone else?
Unless we have any other questions, we would like to.
Any other project related or tokenomic type questions that we need to answer? If not, obviously you can come over to our Telegram, and I'm sure the VC, the voice chat will be open shortly, and you can come over and you can chat on there, picture holders, etc. So you can find out everything you need to know.
Can also find us on Twitter, twitter.com/Ghost Trader BSC. Same for Instagram as well, Instagram.com Ghost Trader BSC as well. And we've got
Reddit.
Exactly.
Facebook.
We've got a Reddit. We've got podcast page as well on the website. If you go to our website and look in the menu, you'll see there's
very interesting
podcast page by our wonderful Eddie. I don't know if he's here. He's probably. I don't think he is in on it actually. So Ed, the Ghost Rider, he does the podcast, which is available on our website.
You are too kind, but thank you.
Cheers, Ed.
Very nice.
My pleasure.
So, I was actually considering trying to start a bit of a podcast thing myself. So I really like that idea. Great minds think alike, they say. But so that's very cool. And we want to reward our best question. If you guys have any kind of idea who you'd like to reward, we had Mendy, G-Ray, Solo.
I think, to be honest, we'll get a vote from everybody, but I think Mendy's question was one that we hadn't heard before that I thought was very good.
Yeah. Mendy's the man for me.
Cool. Yeah, Mendy was cool.
Mendy.
And she did post a few good questions, so I would agree. And so, Mendy, if you could reach out, who would be best to DM considering this?
Just get him to DM me, please, Mendy. Send me your wallet address, and I'll get that sorted.
She's still here. Yeah, she's here.
Yeah.
So if you heard that, Mendy, you just won $50 worth of BUSD for your great questions. We really appreciate you participating, and everybody as well. With that, we want to conclude the AMA. with Ghost Trader. It's been great. You guys are very transparent, in my opinion. And if you guys, if anybody in the community here, anybody watching on YouTube, has any more questions, please feel free to visit their Telegram.
Look forward
Thanks
to
for
seeing
having
you
us,
guys.
guys.
Look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thanks
having
for
us.
having us. Cheers.
Hey, you guys were great. Thank you.